wanted to keep her safe.
Interesting.
And I know with how my mental was and who I was back then that
you wanted to keep her safe, yet you were the man that she needed protection from.
I didn't do.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon. Stay busy. Back at you with another video. And today we are back with the Mizkif Emiru allegation, drama, whatever. Personally, this nigga Mizkif going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I don't know if he's going to jail, but he's done. He can't come back from this. You know what I'm saying? Like this is worse than Dr. Disrespect. This is worse than most things that we've seen on Twitch. I'm not gonna lie. And to be doing it to the biggest woman content creator on the platform is insane. But without further ado, we are reacting to Mizkif's response to Emiru's abuse allegations. Makes it even worse. ... By our favorite Omizi. Let's hop right into the video.
Today, I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing.
I am totally okay with exposing a lot of things and saying things. At this point, I think it's pretty obvious I will not be friends with any of these people after this. Ludwig was right. I am going to completely separate myself from these people in this community, which is fine, and I've already been doing it. But I have hundreds of messages and DMs from people, things that people probably would never want to get released that are very interesting for everyone, and I will be releasing it as time goes on, because why not? Go crazy. Who cares?
Boy, this is actually sick and disgusting. Remember that young
Damn,
streamer
this nigga,
Emiru, who we covered 7 days ago on
this nigga don't give a fuck, bruh. He realized the ship going down and he trying to take down as many people as possible.
this channel that got assaulted at TwitchCon? The young streamer who had her assailant come around the barricade and come up, hug her, kiss her on the neck, potentially have something in his hand to, I don't know, do something with it. I can't even honestly think of what he was gonna do with the device that he had in his hand. Yeah, that same streamer. Well, in her address to Dan Clancy and the Twitch community about what happened, she said something very, very interesting. Something that had my ears kind of perk up.
But honestly, this has been a really hard year for me. Honestly, it's been a really hard, 2 years. I've been carrying a lot of really heavy burdens. There's a lot of things that I haven't wanted to talk about that I think I will probably be talking about when I get home from TwitchCon.
And lo and behold, the thing that she was talking about was levying allegations of SA, domestic abuse, verbal abuse, and a bunch of other things on streamer Mizkif, her ex-boyfriend. Now, I'm gonna give a trigger warning. Some of the stuff that's about to be discussed in this video is actually kind of disgusting, and not even kind of disgusting.
It is disgusting.
But you get to hear both her telling of the events, and because we waited long enough, we also get his telling and admittance to a lot of the things that she claims that he did in his own words. Emiru starts off this conversation by talking
and
about
he
how
admits
controlling
it!
and emotionally abusive Mizkif is. She talks about 2 different instances. One instance in which she was made to cry for hours on end based off of Mizkif's drunken rage about him being, you know, so insecure about his viewership. Emiru had more viewers than he did, and he didn't like the way that she was streaming on one of her.
Mind you guys, nigga had 19,900. She had 22,500. What the fuck are you talking about?
Her Q&A drunken streams. So he called / texted her and started berating her about how she was conducting herself on stream, causing her to take a brief 45-minute intermission to go off and handle this situation, only to come back and cry on camera.
Okay, wait, I need to walk around for a second. I'm a little bit, I think I took too many shots too quickly. I'm doing great. Okay, I'm feeling great right now. So why don't we continue the Q&A for a little bit?
Now, Mizkif would claim that she was going to farm parasocial viewerships. He was claiming that she was doing sexual things to, you know, garner a certain type of audience. He was saying that she was lifting her legs and doing something sexual with a bottle. But let me show you the clips. These are the clips that Mizkif is talking about that is garnering this audience. He's saying that this is a way for her to sexualize herself in order to... It's some weird and controlling ass shit. I'm turned on. I don't know. In this one, you got to be a super gooner to get turned on by this. Like, I don't. Now, Mizkif
I
goes
feel
on
like,
to address
especially Emiru, she's like the least sexual streamer ever. But she is a gooner though. But she's like us. Well, not like us. I ain't gonna say us, but she's like, you know, the gooner chat. She's one of the biggest gooners I know on the platform. She never sexualizes herself, like, ever.
that he is some sort of controlling freak. He acknowledges that he is this type of person, but I'm gonna play it and let you hear how he describes it. That way you can make your own judgments.
I know I wasn't perfect with my language or tone throughout this entire relationship. I know I wasn't. And I was aggressive at times. In regards to being controlling, I told her many things. I told her to dress older, to stop wearing pajamas, to stop talking about stalkers and schizos as a whole, stop talking about past relationships, and yes, I didn't want her to travel without me. I also said that I didn't want her to hang out with specific people. This is because I didn't want her to get hurt. I didn't want Emmy to get assaulted. I didn't want some man to do something to her when I'm not there, and I wanted to keep her safe.
Interesting.
And I know with how my mental was and who I was back then that
You wanted to keep her safe, yet you were the man that she needed protection from.
I didn't do everything right. I know I could have done better, and I'm sorry. I know I was controlling, and I should have just ended the fucking relationship, but I was so confused as a person. And I'm sorry I did it. I'm sorry things got to this fucking point, man.
A way to sell it. I ain't gonna lie, Mizkif, way to sell it.
Nigga, he did not sell it, bro. He ain't sell me. That shit look fake as fuck. The fuck?
He didn't want anybody else to end up harming her because he wanted to be the only one to do it. This isn't the only situation of him being emotionally abusive to her.
Again, you can go see this in some of his VODs in his bedroom, the holes in the wall. There would be times where he was upset at me and I would go to my stream room and literally lock myself in to get away from him.
Mind you, I think at the time that they were dating, I've literally seen Mizkif have fucking porn stars on his stream and shit. Like, what? He literally had like 2 or 3 porn stars on his stream. So what is this nigga talking about?
He would be banging on the door and screaming at me. And at the time, he also would more often do things like going, like if we were driving in the car together, he would be going like 150 miles an hour. And like one time he even said like, well, now we're both gonna die, like threatening to kill both of us.
I'm gonna say this for anybody who's dealing with any sort of relationships or situationships that they feel potentially have the signs of being toxic. Anybody that's actively punching a hole in a wall, something that doesn't damage the wall greater than the hole that you put in it, but damages you, like they're physically willing to sacrifice themselves, that person is abusive and they are willing to punch you even. The same thing with threats of violence or harming yourself. It's all kikis and ha-ha.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie if I agree with that, chat, because I've never put my hands on anyone. But back in the day, like when I was like 14 to like 17, the game used to get me tight. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the game used to get me tight. And I remember I put a hole in the wall, bruh. I had to cover that shit up with a poster so my mom don't beat my ass. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. But I don't know if I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Until it's not. That whole conversation about, oh, I'm gonna drive 150 miles per hour and we'll both end up dead in this car. That is not something to play with. That's not something to take lightly. If you're hearing those types of talk,
Mizkif is a weirdo, but let's get him on the weirdo-ness, you know?
points in your relationship, that's a clear indicator and sign that somebody is abusive and that you should get out. This is a bit of violence that Mizkif himself even owns up to in his response to this Emiru blasting of him.
I was not perfect, and I reflect on those situations with poor taste to myself. I'm ashamed that the situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression. I one time did say I was going to kill myself during an argument, but Emmy did this as well numerous times. She would constantly say she's going to kill herself in arguments, and I have a picture where while I had a gun pointed at one of her stalkers who came to my house while she was in Kansas, she told me she was going to kill herself out of aggression of the situation while it was happening.
Based off of everything that I watched throughout these videos, Mizkif has a common theme of being insecure about his status and his stature in the content creator sphere. You would think somebody who is as big as him would feel like he is more of a success. But listening to Emiru talk about a time where Mizkif decided to drive 150 miles per hour again on the road, it seems as though he is always constantly questioning who he is and his place in the hierarchy of creators.
This wasn't
honestly,
like,
yeah,
even necessarily because of me or like because of something I did. a lot of the time. Like, one of the times that it happened, it was because we were just getting food, and he was on his phone, and he saw that Mr. Beast had put out a video, and Mr. Beast had invited another streamer, and he was like, oh, Mr. Beast invited this guy to his video, not me. And I was like, oh, well, you know, like, huh? Yeah, I guess so. Which led to him
Like, what?
going 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about killing himself while doing it.
And I'm always a guy of pattern recognition. So when I went to do my digging for this video, it seems as though this is something that he struggled with before. Who he is and people around him surpassing him. Hell, even his ex, Maya, who the internet through this research is claiming that he also did abuse her, he showed some signs of insecurity towards her and her growing viewership when they were together.
I was terrified. I couldn't understand what was happening. My viewers were dropping, Maya's were only going up. And there was a part of me that thought that I was going to be smaller than her, and I don't know if it was my ego or what, but I couldn't take it. I felt like shit.
Nigga, that is your ego. That's insecurity and ego.
And I was on the phone with Austin, and then XQC, I somehow got on a call with him, and he talked to me for hours, making me feel better about it. And he did. And I genuinely, after talking to him, felt a lot better. And I don't think he even realizes what he did for me in that call, but he really did help me a lot. I was nonstop. It's all I could think about is that she was beating me as a streamer and I was going to die. But then he reminded me that women have a cap and men just grow as streamers, and that's pretty much just fucking it.
Hey man, real classy dudes these guys are. Just stand up guys. Stand up guys. This leads us to our biggest claim.
I'm not even going to get into that. I feel like maybe in the past that used to be true, but it's 2025, bro. I think like literally what we've seen with Emiru, what we've seen with, honestly, yeah, I think Emiru is a great example. What we've seen with her, like she has broken that barrier and has proved all the haters wrong that women can definitely go above that cap that used to exist.
In this video, this is where Emiru claims that Mizkif did two things. One, he gave her a black eye by throwing a phone at her, and two, he committed SA against her.
He would throw bottles, like,
which is insane.
Plastic bottles with liquid in it, not like glass bottles, at me, despite me telling him like I didn't like it and it scared me and I bruised very easily. He would throw his phone at me. I would tell him, you know, it scared me, I don't like it. And one time it even hit me in the eye, which caused me to get a black eye. I was crying like crazy because the emotions were just very high because I was dealing with a lot of major shifts in my life as a result of me attempting to start to try to distance myself from him. So yeah, we were just talking and I was crying a lot. He started to try to comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch and holding me really close to him. And when this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with, but I let him hold me while I was crying, and he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot, and then suddenly he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants. And I screamed, and when
bro,
I
hearing
screamed,
that
he
again
jumped
just
off
is
me
so
like a cat,
disgusting.
like, and instead of
Like so disgusting, chat. Because just like, for example, like a type of nigga like me, right? I'm just like such a person to where like, if I'm not 100% sure, I won't even make a move. Like I won't even like touch hands or something like that. So I just can't believe like. I just can't believe niggas just be feeling so comfortable to do stuff like that. Granted, I don't know, like, because I don't really know the situation here, but it sounds like they weren't together. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they had met up after a while. So it's not like, you know, it's very different when like you're in a relationship with someone, you walk up to them, you know what I'm saying? And like you guys are obviously more comfortable with each other. So those things are more appropriate. But like, it seems like in this situation, they hadn't talked. They went no contact for a bit. And then like nigga just tried to put his hands in her pants. Like, how are some niggas so bold, bruh?
apologizing or checking if I was okay. He said, I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go. And he immediately left my house while I was still crying.
Now, I think Emiru, somebody who just came out of the TwitchCon situation where she got assaulted, knows how serious this is. Knows that she can't just levy
Like,
these
that's
allegations,
insane.
you know, baselessly and aimlessly. And anybody who is a victim of SA, like I'm standing with you totally. Especially after Mizkif comes and gives his explanations as to how both situations happened. I have no choice but to believe her wholeheartedly because what he says is just hogwash and
Bullshit.
baloney.
She brushed over that I threw water bottles or my phone near her, but that wasn't during fights. I want to make that very clear. It would be me throwing my phone on my bed when I brushed my teeth. She did tell me she got a bruise from it, and I stopped. That's all that happened.
Nigga, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that cap. That is the biggest cap I've ever heard, bruh.
Throw you and show you an example, chat.
All right, show us an example.
I'm brushing my teeth. Right here. Look at me.
I can't see you.
I would throw my phone on the bed. I would just lob it over because I was going to bed. So I would just.
That just sounds like
And you hit her in the
bullshit.
eye? That's what you want us to believe? Now, I don't believe that black eye story for 1 second. You're telling me that you
Like,
casually
not
tossed your
1
phone in
second.
water bottles, or
Y'all
whatever
believe
the
that
case may
shit?
be, and it's something that just so happened to hit her in her eye to give her a black eye. Now, let me ask you this: why, after that situation, was Emiru going on live stream lying to people about how she got the black eye?
I actually had like a small black eye from running into something, and no one could tell. I thought I wouldn't be able to cover it because it was really bad. What'd you run into? I was like turning a corner really fast, and I hit like the bottom of my eye socket on
Bro, she just sounds so uncomfortable. Do you guys hear the uncomfortable laughter? Like, these are telltale signs of abuse, guys.
the wall.
Y'all couldn't even come up with a better excuse as to how she got the damn black eye. Like, that's abuse victim 101. Running into a doorknob or door hinge or whatever
like-
to hit her in the eye socket. And apparently it was really, really bad. She wasn't showing her face or couldn't show her face and talked about covering it up. But she got that from a phone hitting her in the face. I can't believe that for one.
Mind you, I have dropped my phone on my face, like, in the bed, and that shit hurts. But that ain't giving me no black eye. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then for me to just, oh, whoop-de-doo, throw my phone on the bed while Emiru happens to be on the bed, and it's just all willy-nilly after brushing my teeth, and it hit her so hard that it gave her a black eye. Like, get the fuck out of here, nigga. Suck my dick.
Second. And if that's the excuse that you're gonna use for the black eye, let's hear the excuse that you use for the SA.
We broke up for about a month, then got back together because we thought we can make it work. We went to get food at BJ's, a common place where we would get food, and then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about.
Can I just say this too, guys? This is how you catch a liar, right? You guys know me. I'm a great Among Us player, right? Great imposter. I understand deception, manipulation, all that. Listen to his speech. He repeats himself too many times.
Then got back together because we thought we can make
Get
it
to
work.
work.
We went to get food at BJ's.
We went to get food at BJ's.
A common place where we would get food.
A common place where we get food. Why do we need to know that? You know what I'm saying? Why do we need to know that? Like, really think about that. We went to go look at BJ's, a common place to get food. Like, we know what BJ's is, my nigga. Like, you're just overly explaining, which is why I know you're guilty.
And then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and started to kiss. She said that she was okay with this on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong or did wrong in general.
No mention of the crime.
I got scared and left the house. I apologize if that made Emmy uncomfortable for me not saying sorry, and I wish I said sorry back then.
No mention of the crying, and again, if you were in a situation,
That's what I'm saying,
you
no
thought
mention
this
of the
was next step,
crying.
advancing to the next stage, y'all were cuddling and stuff like that, especially in a time of distress, you would have no problem with having a conversation with her right after, kind of acknowledging that, hey, I read the room wrong. But you yelping and leaving in the way that you did seems as though you did something that you knew you were guilty
doing
for.
wrong.
If Mizkif
Yeah,
didn't give enough bad excuses,
because it's like, especially if you guys have ever been in a situation like that, it's very simple, like, to just be like, oh, hey, like, my bad, like, I thought you wanted this or something like that. But for you to and like get all scared and shit, like, nigga, you know what you were doing, bro.
after bad excuses on this live stream. He then doubles down on what Emiru kind of alluded to at the end of her stream, and the fact that, hey, Mizkif is going to try to paint me to be some sort of a villain in this conversation. And the way that he does that is by playing the animal card, the same card that they tried to use on Hassan last week.
Emiru has a lot of rabbits. It was her calling when she first moved in. These were a big part of her life. But as those rabbits moved out of her room and into the living room, they started to see disgusting neglect. No food, no water, sometimes not having clean bedding for weeks. I, along with many others who would come over, would give them what they needed, and I would tell her all the time to take care of them, but to no avail. She completely...
Can we just say, like, how... Yo, let's get serious for a second, chat. You get accused for sexual assault allegations by your ex, and the way you defend yourself, instead of just engaging with the allegations, right? You instead try to say she did something, but then you bring it to something completely unrelated, like some stupid bunny rabbits. I'm not gonna lie, like, yes, I understand animal abuse and things like that exist, of course, but nigga, who the fuck gives a fuck about the bunny rabbits when she's over here pretty much saying that you sexually assaulted her? Like, you tried to penetrate her with your fingers when she didn't want to be penetrated.
Neglected those rabbits so much that many of them just died over 1 year of being around in my house. My cleaning ladies would clean them just because they felt terrible. And my brother once came over and said, and I quote, "If you ever marry this woman, I'll never forgive you."
What? Oh.
Here's a video.
Oh my god, no.
Up close of Emiru's rabbits.
I think it's odd.
These are small little mites that are inside the rabbit cage, and she didn't care. She completely neglected these animals, and I'm not going to sit around and let people say that she didn't. People who came to my house knew that they were neglected.
What's that?
This is an up-close view of
Why
the
is
rabbit
this
cage
important,
being
though?
completely disgusting and neglected. She left them to die, and I'm not going to sit here and have her pretend she didn't. It's fucking disgusting.
So let me get this straight. Your ultimate combatant to the essay allegations, the DV allegations, the verbal abuse allegations is the fact that Emiru was neglectful to rabbits that were also in your house and in your care.
I'm not gonna lie, Mizkif. Emiru is beating your ass right now. She's up 45 points and you are getting cooked. She's up 45 points. She's crossing you over. She's pulling hezzies. She's doing step back threes and making every single one. And you haven't even made a layup yet. What? Like, why was this bunny rabbit shit relevant?
I don't think that that's like the best excuse in
What?
the world. Actually, I don't think it's an excuse at all. It's a non-excuse. It's crazy because he's trying to play this internet game that a lot of content creators try to do, in which they utilize their audience and their feelings towards a situation in order to paint somebody or someone else in a bad light. I'm gonna be quite honest with you though, gang. This is falling on deaf ears. Nobody cares about
Nobody
these
gives a
rabbits in
fuck.
this situation when there are claims of SA that you admitted and acknowledged, when there are claims of DV which you gave an excuse about, and when there are claims of threats, violence, and other things. You are an insecure man, and that is a invalid excuse, full stop. Now, what Mizkif did to close out his stream is he gave a pretty eerie and ominous threat to other content creators and streamers out there that he knows personally.
I am going to stand up for myself. I am going to defend myself in these situations. I am not going away. I have no plans to go away. And I believe a lot of the situations today were absolutely exaggerated. I have dozens of photos and videos, calls and messages as well, if she has them. I have things I will be leaking over the next few days of other people, of other things. I have a lot of messages that I have that I'm going to expose as time goes on, because I do believe that this is a time to go fucking buck wild.
So you've been sitting on these.
So, okay. Say like he does have some heat in the chamber. It seems like Omizi's about to say this, because I kind of agree. You're just sitting on this heat in the chamber, like all these disgusting things, to kind of be like I gotcha, versus just like maybe just come out about these things right when they happen because you're just a good person. And then two, It kind of reminds me of like the whole Putin situation. Like, remember when Putin was like, if there is any American intervention, we will not stop, and we will use our nuclear weapons. Like, that's what this kind of feels like. It feels like Mizkif is like, you know what, fuck it. If I'm going down, everybody's going down, which is just even more sick. Because again, it's like, if you knew these people, whatever you have, right, whatever he has locked and loaded in his chamber, if you knew these things happen, why didn't you talk about it and advocate for them when they happen? But now that you're a falling ship, you're trying to bring other people down with you. That's like that again, just the whole theme of this and how he even got himself in this whole situation in the first place is insecurity. It just screams insecurity.
Other videos and other evidence of people doing SA or DV or just other disgusting stuff from your content creator and streamer friends. Got it. We hear you loud and clear. And I think that is a bow on this specific conversation, but it opens up the present of a bigger conversation. Twitch, the community, the streamers, the content creators have problems, like real problems. Not like, oh, we can't figure out which platform to stream on, but no, these are people who are violent. And it's disgusting because in his attempt to defend himself, Mizkif is ultimately admitting that, yeah, I know that streamers commit these atrocities. I just hide them, just like other streamers.
Literally, exactly. I just hide them.
And you release that information. Release that information. I want you to, because we can pack them and you up. We can pack everybody up, because there's no way that we should be platforming anybody who has these levels of skeletons in the closet. You honestly just don't deserve a platform. For Emiru, I'm praying for you, to be quite honest with you. Like you said, this is a hell of a year, and your assaults are getting caught on camera and getting admitted to by the people that are doing the assaults. What a hell of a time that we live in. I'm hoping and praying that Twitch does the right thing. By the time this video goes out, Mizkif should be banned if they want to stay true to what they say. But they'll probably
He's
do
not gonna
what
be
I
banned.
expect them to
Mizkif's
do
not gonna be
in my
banned.
thoughts
He'll
that
probably
I shared
go-
in a
he's not gonna
Patreon
be
video on my
banned.
Patreon, and soon to be memberships. Anyway, this is disgusting. I gotta get off this.
He ain't getting banned, chat. We know he's not getting banned, guys. Like, we know Mizkif is not getting banned for that. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section below, guys. If you fuck with the reaction, give it a like, comment, subscribe, come join the nation. If you didn't fuck with it, give it a thumbs down. Telling me you hate it in the comments. Boo, 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 boo. And it's your boy Brandon. Stay busy, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.